Fencing around DuPont Circle taken down this morning just a day after going up. Hear what led to the sudden change in decision. Millions of people from around the world coming to the district for the World Pride Parade. We talked with several people who were there for the celebration. The Maryland man who was wrongfully deported to El Salvador is back in the U.S., but now he's facing federal charges in Tennessee. We have more details ahead.
And we have a flood watch in effect for Sunday and severe weather possible as well. We'll talk about it and show it to you coming up.
And we're helping you stretch your dollar. We have more on how you can help your team land a job to earn some cash this summer.
You're watching the station covering all of that. This is DC News Now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us on DC News Now at 9. I'm Kevon Dupree. Ben Dennis has the night off. We begin tonight with some breaking news. Police say one man has been shot and 2 men were stabbed in the area of DuPont Circle. DC police say only one was injured in the shooting. Police are asking everyone to stay clear from the area around DuPont Circle. Several roads are closed until further notice, and according to Metro Transit Police, the DuPont Circle Metro entrance at 19th Street is closed as well. Police ask that you seek alternate routes as the investigation continues. And this stabbing comes hours after fencing around DuPont Circle was officially taken down this morning. The decision comes after Mayor Muriel Bowser told reporters yesterday that she would, quote, continue to push for a change in decision. The National Park Service's initial decision to close DuPont Circle Park came at the request of DC Police and U.S. Park Police, which cited safety concerns. Fencing was put up Friday morning and was going to remain up through Sunday. The decision was met with pushback from residents and community leaders, and the fence was down just over 24 hours later. The reopening of DuPont Circle came just in time to mark World Pride Weekend in the district. DC News Now's Dave Laval tells us that's not the only reason why people had to celebrate.
There's certainly a lot of pride along 14th Street Northwest as thousands of people turn out for the annual Pride Parade. But what makes this year different from previous ones is, for the first time, the world is taking part.
A festive celebration in Northwest D.C.
It's World Pride, hello! Everyone is happy, everyone is excited.
Capitol Hill's Kiki Jomo has attended D.C.'s Pride Parade for the last 5 years. There's no way she would miss this year's festivities.
I hope it brings everyone together more, and you know, I hope the future is brighter for the LGBT community.
More people make their way along the parade route than in the past. The district is hosting World Pride for the first time. Organizers said there are at least 50 more groups taking part in the event, including the host of next year's World Pride, Amsterdam.
Be who you are, love who you want, and be yourself.
Hey. World Pride is expected to attract between 2 to 3 million people, with an economic impact of more than $600 million. Mayor Muriel Bowser hopes they take something more valuable with them.
Celebrate Pride, experience Washington, D.C., and go home with great memories.
The parade had been scheduled to last for 4 hours, but it went well beyond that due to the record number of participants. In Northwest, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Well, DC News Now's team was also at the parade today. As you can see from video taken by one of our Nightside producers, Natalie Corson, everyone had a blast seeing all of your bright, smiling faces showing off your pride. Metro is ready to get people to all of the World Pride festivities, WMATA announcing extended hours for the weekend. Tonight, stations will close at 2 a.m. Tomorrow, Metro stations will open at 6 in the morning and close at midnight. Also this weekend, the Yellow Line will extend to Greenbelt. The World Pride Parade will cause many road closures in the district. For the full list of parking restrictions and road closures, go to our website, dcnewsnow.com, and search World Pride. You'll also find details for all the festivities on our website. All right. Now let's get a first check on the forecast. DC News Now's meteorologist Scott Sumner is here. Scott, some beautiful weather today, but you told me about a flood watch that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we have a flood watch here, Kevin, right behind me, covering part of the area. Came out late this evening here, and it covers basically out towards the Shenandoah Valley, up towards the western mountains of Maryland, where 1 to 2 inches of rain should be fairly common in this general area, but higher totals, possibly up to 3 or 4 or maybe even 5 inches of rain. Some certain locations will overspill creeks and riverbeds, etc. And so thereby a flood watch is in effect for places like Winchester, Woodstock, and Kaiser. Today we got up to 86 degrees, not too bad, 3 degrees over the average high of 83, but far from the record high of 98 set back in 1999. Right now we're sitting at 79 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, but it is a fairly quiet and mild to muggy evening out there. We'll see the temperature still be in the 70s through the midnight hour, but fall into the upper 60s around 6 o'clock in the morning before turning the corner and getting back into the lower 70s around mid-morning. So a dry, mild, and muggy night. We have a DMV first warn for tomorrow. We'll talk about that in the main weather. More active weather on Tuesday, but then tranquil weather by Wednesday. We'll break it all down as I usually do with the 7-day forecast coming up. Kevin?
All right, Scott, thank you very much. New tonight, police are investigating after one man was found shot and killed in a Prince George's County parking garage. Police responded to a shooting around 4:40 a.m. at Warfield Drive near Morgan Boulevard. There, they found a man outside in a parking garage suffering from a gunshot wound. He died at the scene. Detectives encourage anyone with more information to contact them immediately. Police are investigating a shooting that left a man hospitalized overnight in Southeast. Police say they found a man suffering from multiple gunshot wounds minutes after midnight on Parkland Place. He was taken to a nearby hospital for treatment. He was conscious and breathing at the time. Police say the man was shot in the stomach during a drive-by in the area. A community walk in Maryland to tell you about. Prince George's County's leaders are working to address safety concerns. Councilwoman Christian Oriata hosted the walk in Capitol Heights to highlight concerns like crime, traffic, and illegal dumping. She says it's a chance to hear directly from families who live in the area.
Really seeing issues with abandoned property, trash in the community, potholes, streets that need to be repaved, and then making sure that we're getting pictures, we're documenting, and we're making sure that everything's being tracked in 311, and we're escalating it to ensuring that our community is not forgotten about.
Now, this is the first of 4 community walks. The next one is in 2 weeks over in Suitland. In breaking national news, protesters and immigration authorities face off for a second day in the LA area after arrest Border Patrol personnel stood guard outside in an industrial park in the city of Paramount. They deployed tear gas as bystanders and protesters. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem warned LA rioters that interference with immigration enforcement will not be tolerated. DHS said recent ICE operations in LA resulted in the arrest of 118 immigrants. Developing now, the Maryland father who was wrongfully deported to El Salvador is back on U.S. soil, but he's back to face some serious federal charges. The Department of Justice is accusing Kilmar Abrega Garcia of being part of a human smuggling ring. It stems from a traffic stop from 3 years ago in Tennessee, where he faced no charges at the time. Ben Dennis has more on this story.
Abrega Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice.
Federal prosecutors now alleging the Maryland man wrongly deported in March conspired and worked to illegally bring thousands of undocumented people from Latin America into the U.S.
This was his full-time job. This defendant trafficked firearms and narcotics throughout our country on multiple occasions. They were using vehicles, SUVs, with added seats in the back, floors that had been ripped out.
The case stems from a Tennessee traffic stop in 2022 for speeding. Officers reportedly noticed a handful of people inside Kilmar Abrega Garcia's vehicle. Suspecting human trafficking at the time, he was let go with a warning. Garcia was deported in March despite a 2019 court order barring that from happening to him, causing a wave of concerns over due process.
This matter could have gone away within a week or two after the case being filed. Instead of simply admitting their mistake, they'll stop at nothing at all, even some of the most preposterous charges imaginable.
Garcia arriving in Tennessee Friday after the federal indictment there was unsealed. If convicted, the DOJ plans to send Garcia back to his native El Salvador after serving any sentence.
What happened today is the exact opposite of due process, because due process means the opportunity to defend yourself before you're punished, not afterwards.
And that was Ben Dennis reporting. And we're hearing from some of Maryland's congressional delegation now that Abrego Garcia is back in the U.S. Congressman Glenn Ivey spoke with DC News Now shortly after the news broke. Ivey says he doesn't know what the federal charges mean for Abrego Garcia's deportation proceedings.
This might have been an effort to just shut down the case that was going forward in Greenbelt, where the judge there was giving the Trump administration a very hard time, and legitimately so. Especially for them saying things like, sort of essentially secret information that they couldn't share. We'll see if that comes out in the case now, or whether that just was a subterfuge.
Senator Chris Van Hollen releasing a statement saying, quote, "As I have repeatedly said, this is not about the man, it's about his constitutional rights and the rights of all. The administration will now have to make its case in the court of law, as it should have all along." Van Hollen was the first lawmaker to go to El Salvador and meet with Abrego Garcia. Senator Angela Also Brooks releasing a statement as well. You can find that and the latest details on Abrego Garcia's return to the U.S. on DCNewsNow.com. And we're looking ahead. The district is preparing for next weekend's military parade. It's to celebrate the U.S. Army's 250th birthday. It also coincides with President Trump's 79th birthday. Military vehicles are expected to start gathering at the Pentagon's north parking lot today. Next Saturday's parade will run from the Pentagon across the Arlington Memorial Bridge along the National Mall and ending near the Washington Monument. Reagan National Airport will close for several hours on June 14th to accommodate for military flyers and fireworks. As we mentioned earlier, this weekend kicks off World Pride, and community leaders in Maryland are raising concerns over the proposed cuts to mental health services for LGBTQ+ youth. The Trump administration may be looking to slash funding for the National Suicide Crisis Hotline. Leaders in Montgomery County say that would eliminate specialized services for young people in the LGBTQ+ community.
Life-saving. It is absolutely life-saving.
Cutting off support in the middle of a mental health crisis is cruel and it's dangerous.
The head of the MoCo Pride Center says the cuts would be detrimental, considering young people in the LGBTQ+ community say they experience higher rates of mental health challenge compared to their peers. Today, Prince George's County held their third annual Pride Walk. The event took place at the National Harbor and featured speeches from LGBTQ+ leaders. There were also a variety of vendors there. Officials say they put on this event as a way to showcase diversity and inclusion. Looking to land a summer job? We are stretching your dollar with ways your team can earn some serious cash while having some serious fun. The time is now 9:13, taking a live look outside at Roslyn. Still to come, meteorologist Scott Sumner is checking your forecast on this mild and muggy night. After the break, stay with us.